Right, so you talked about this on Fighter and the Kid, but I don't think we talked about it here on Blow the Belt.
Yeah, I thought this was so interesting. So he went on Dan Le Batard's show. He had a mask on, which was a little cheesy. But so Dan Le Batard was like, man, feel free to fire away. And this is what he put.
Oh, do you want me to play it? Or?
Yeah, just will the audience be able to see it in here?
Yeah.
Play it. It's interesting, dude.
You thought I want to cut it off.
So I will say this. I've never personally worked with Ariel, ever. He's a real journalist. We got to tell dick jokes and talks about whatever the fuck you want to talk about. You know, so he's always been like the company guy. He's a suit guy. He's a real journalist. He's probably the best journalist we have in the game. He's the closest thing we have to Stephen A. Smith, right? He doesn't have those opinions, but as far as straight journalism, he's the guy. He's kind of the standard, which God bless him, he's worked his ass off for. The only thing I've heard about Ariel, and I've heard it from a million people, does not play well with others. Yeah. Anybody I know who's ever worked with him does not have nice things to say. Anybody I've ever talked to in the MMA space says do not work with him. Now, I never judge a book by its cover. I'm sure people have had their issues with him. I've never worked with him, nor would I have no reason to. You know, he's a journalist, not what I do. But I've never had any issues with him. But anybody I know, people that I consider friends, people in that MMA journalist space, say he's an absolute nightmare. What?
No, it's just because I listen to Luke Thomas and stuff too, and he just gets angry.
Luke does?
Yeah. We didn't say go into detail, but
Luke can't stand him.
Yeah,
Luke cannot stand him. I know a lot of people that can't. Again, people have issues with a lot of people. I go based off my experience. Again, I've never worked with him, so I don't have anything. I don't have an opinion on it. I don't know. From what I see, he's good at his job, but anybody I know who's ever worked with a guy. Like, remember when you went through the Fox thing and Dana banned him? Notice how no one stuck up for him? When none of your peers stick up for you, that's a bad sign. Again, I don't know. Might be awesome.
Never know. All right,
wish he wasn't wearing this fucking mask.
Did Dana White run you out of ESPN?
So I can't answer that question with yes or no, but I will explain it like this. From the moment it was made public that I was joining ESPN, unbeknownst to me on my life, on my kid's life, I didn't know when I was hired by ESPN, I didn't know that they were in talks with the UFC. I had no idea. At the time, they really had like one MMA guy on the staff. I thought, all right, the sport is growing, Conor McGregor, they want to beef up the coverage. I had no idea about the other stuff. And then if you recall, and you can go back and look, initially they signed them to a 10-card deal, ESPN Plus only. And then I was like, all right, they're not the sole exclusive broadcast partner. I could live with that. And then it became the whole freaking thing. And then I started to get nervous. So from the moment it was made public in mid-May that I was going to ESPN, and at that time it had already been out that they had signed this deal with ESPN, the UFC did, Dana White tried to get me not even to make it to my first day. I mean, he raised hell to try to stop me. My first day was June 15th. Tried to stop me to get to the first day. Now, to the credit of a lot of the executives there, they all said no. They all had my back. They gave me shows. They gave me opportunities. But for the next 3 years, it was one roadblock after the next. It was one issue after the next. It was all kinds of stuff. I'll tell you a story. I've never even shared this story. When I would be at events then, and everyone, and let's say it's the weigh-ins, right? And there's a desk there, and I'm doing something beforehand. But Dana White is coming as a guest in 30 minutes or something. I would have to be escorted out of the venue because, per his request, I couldn't be in his vicinity or his line of sight. So here I am on the set of a company that I work for, and security, the nicest people in the world, who were embarrassed that they had to do this, would tell me, I'm sorry, Ariel, we have to walk you out. You know how that makes someone feel? We have to walk you out of the venue because Dana White doesn't want you in his line of sight. I said, I'll sit right over there. I won't even look at it. I'll look at my phone. What are we doing here? So that's the kind of stuff that I had to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. What can you do? Ariel Helwani went on Dan Le Batard's show and slammed sad sack fake journalists. Who's he talking about? Like,
I don't think he actually pointed
He's talking about other ESPN guys? Like,
yeah, other people that don't really know.
What's Brett Okamoto? I like Brett.
Let me just play this real quick. It's short.
The thing, like, I don't want anyone to think that ESPN, fired me or didn't extend any contract. They did. Of course, it wasn't what I was hoping for, and you can come up with your own type of theory as to, why they extended the offer that they extended. I think I'm worth a lot more than they offered, and I'm out to prove it. And I'll just add, the pettiness knows no bounds. The real estate, as they say in Las Vegas, I hear is pretty good these days. For Ariel Helwani, and I'll talk to myself in third person, it's rent-free. Because what they did on Saturday, the 2 shows that I had with Chael and DC, that I helped build, that I was the one who was promoting more than anyone, I mean, all day incessantly. I never got a single plug in my 3 years there, a single plug on any type of broadcast for 3 years. I stopped counting at the 7th plug on Saturday for their 2 new shows. And I love DC and Chelsea.
Those shows are terrible, too.
I will literally go in front of a car for those guys. They're the most loyal friends. But the pettiness to try to raise those shows
because
now I'm out, to try to put me down because I'm out, to try to continue to hurt me, put roadblocks in front of me because I'm out, is laughable to me. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to continue covering the sport. I'm going to continue doing it the right way and the fair way. And they can bring their parade of sad sack fake journalists to their events all day long to do whatever they want to do and bow down to them. I'll be just fine with the people that I'm working for. Vox, Ringer, Spotify, Substack, BT Sport. I'll be just fine.
Yeah. It's an upset dude.
One plug when he was there the entire time in 3 years. They never promoted his shows, but now they're.
I mean, that's it. But also, you made this bet. You got lying it, Papa. Like, why does Dana not like you? Let's talk about that. Why was he upset about you? Well, if we go back, remember the Brock Lesnar thing? They told you not to release it. They did you a solid. You got all the credentials, all that stuff, and they said nobody release this before. We want to be the first. It's their company. That's their rules. You broke the rules, dude. That's why he's upset. Whose fault is that? Not Dana's fault. It's an Ariel mistake. Again, Ariel's really good at his job. He's gonna be fine, man. He's really, really good. Yeah. Sounds like he's pretty upset.
That's the most I've seen him upset on any broadcast.
It's the most emotion I've seen out of the guy. I thought he was a robot. I thought he was a MMA robot.
He does cry, like not all the time, but he had some episodes where he cried. But this is like the actual fierce, pissed off kind of Ariel.
Yeah, the UFC and ESPN just keeps beating each other on the drum. They don't give a flying fuck. That's why it works with these big companies, man. But he's gonna be fine. Yeah, of course, he'll figure it out.
Take it from me, they hold grudges, Aljo. I know for a fact.
Well, Ariel, it might be deserved on your end.
Wow, really? How so, Aljo? How so? Do tell.
How I hear the story, like the breaking the news stuff. I don't know.
Let's go.
Let's go. I don't know the whole details.
Who's your source? Brendan Schaub? Who's your source?
Well, I just heard from Joe Rogan talking.
Oh, Joe Rogan. Okay, let me say once. Can I clear the air for the 50th time about that one? What Joe Rogan has spewed is 1,000% false. What Brendan Schaub has then parroted is 1,000% false. Rogan's source is Dana White. Brendan's source is Joe Rogan. I think you know me long enough. I think Quinta and Ray and Chris and everyone on the team know me long enough. Regardless of anyone else you want to talk. If someone tells me something off the record, and I'm sure you've told me things off the record, if I go out and report it, I should be done. There's no way that I would practice that kind of journalism and still be here 13 years later. If you tell me something in confidence and I report it, I should never be talked to again. I should be outlawed. I should be banned from covering the sport, any promotion. That never happened, the story that Rogan told. That never happened, the story that Brendan talked about a couple weeks ago. 1000% false. And in fact, it's very damaging to my reputation because that's the kind of stuff that a hack journalist does. I'm not a hack journalist. I got that the same way I get any piece of news, confirmed it with sources. Not a single person ever told me, don't report this. We brought you in a corner. That whole BS story that Rogan spewed and has somehow been like regurgitated and recycled is a lie. It almost makes me wonder what other things Rogan is lying about on the show, but that's a different story for a different day. All I'm saying is that's 100% lie and very irresponsible for a guy like that with a platform like that to talk about me like that without knowing that side of the story. The only reason why he told that story was because Dana White was trying to justify the stupid banning, and then they went out and tried to make me out to be the bad guy. So that's a lie. Produce another story where I did that. You ain't gonna find one. So I just want to say nothing is justified in terms of my situation. That never happened. Don't listen to those guys. You feel me?
No, I will say in Rogan's defense, I'm pretty sure he does clarify, like, this is what I heard.
Yeah, guess what? That's a stupid fucking reason to say a story when you're talking about someone's career, right? This is what I heard. This guy went out irresponsibly and is dealing with the repercussions. No. Find out the truth and then come talk about it. I'm sorry I get fired up about it, but you can understand as someone who has dealt with the repercussions of people speaking irresponsibly on your behalf, it's a stupid freaking reason. And Brendan, for regurgitating it 5 years later, I've had my own issues with him. In fact, I'll break some news. He just reached out to me this morning, Brendan, and apologized to me for regurgitating false lies. False lies, that's redundant, about me. And I said, thanks for reaching out, Brendan. I look forward to you doing it on the air the same way you said lies about me. You should probably go on the air and apologize and rectify. So I wait for that day. Until then, God bless. Regarding the Brock Lesnar return, which you leaked 1 hour before the UFC. Now, I want to correct you, Brandon. I didn't leak anything. I reported it. There was no leak. There's a big difference. If someone tells you, hey, in an hour we're going to do something, and then, you're like, okay, cool. And then you go out, that's a leak. This is not a leak. This is reporting. No different than what Woj does, or Schefter does, or Bob McKenzie does, or any of your other favorite, journalists in any other beat. So get your terminology correct. 1 hour before the UFC was the reveal surprise promotion video. Oh, by the way, I didn't know that they were revealing it. By the way, don't care. Doesn't matter. Shouldn't affect your reporting, but I didn't know that, for the record. If you spoke to somebody at the UFC and they asked you not to spoil the surprise because we have a cool promotional video that we're going to show in an hour, would you still have broke that news when you did? No. Great. This is a good question. No, of course not. You know how many times people have told me, I've got this video, I've got this news? Like, I don't know. You don't think I knew about CM Punk? Like, just for example, off the top of my head, 'cause I see he's in the news right now. Like, of course I'm not reporting things that people tell me things off the record. You know how many times this guy told me things? Think about how many times he told me things that I didn't report. Like, if someone's telling you something in confidence off the record, you don't report it. That's one-on-one stuff. So yes, if someone did tell me that, of course I wouldn't. But no one did. Guess what? No one did. So all you other BS YouTube accounts that like to regurgitate old things and somehow this became a story again 5 years later, please do this one too. No one told me not to report it. No one said off the record. No one told me about a video. No one. Zero people. Zilch. Nada. No person. Goose egg. Rien du tout. Tu comprends? If you say yes, can you explain the difference between what you did and what Tony Schiavone did? Okay, well, I don't say yes. So you're comparing that to the Tony Schiavone putting butts in the seats? No, it's not the same because I never agreed to that. I was never told that. On my life, I was never told. Now, who are you going to believe? Who are you going to believe? Tell me. Who are you going to believe? You going to believe Bappa? You going to believe me? You going to believe PF Chang's? You going to believe me? I think we all know the answer to that. Greetings, sir.
But did something else get back to him? Did you say something about when you come to LA?
Well, I said that on Below the Belt, and Showtime can edit all that. I said,
yeah. No, don't say that.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like, it's a funny joke. It's a funny joke. You laugh. It's a great joke, but again, it's not personal. It's funny.
Wait, I don't know what he said.
It's locker room humor, and Ariel's too sensitive for that.
Yeah. But also, he shouldn't be my scope anyway.
Yeah,
he's a byproduct of all this. So and I apologize for it. I text him, apologize for it. He wrote me this novel. There's obviously some underlying other issues that he has issues with.
With you mean? Or?
Actually, in general, if you're a sensitive guy, that's what it is.
So it sounds like you just want to have dialogue.
Maybe. That's not what I do.
Yeah.
So he was upset about the fact that you brought up the Brock Lesnar thing?
No, I didn't bring it up years ago.
I heard that.
In 2015, UFC 199, the narrative is, and I'm not a reporter.
This is just the narrative.
This is the narrative of the entire world.
And this is what you said on the Fight Companion.
I didn't say it's on Fight Companion. He said this on the show, but I think this is where his kind of attitude towards me comes is UFC 199, he leaked the Brock Lesnar news and got his credentials pulled and banned from the UFC.
That was Dana, right?
That was the UFC. But and then in his text he goes, do you really think they banned me or something like that? I do, because you gotta remember at UFC 199, what was UFC trying to do with UFC 200 and Brock Lesnar? Sell the company. They're trying to get evaluated for the maximum, whatever, $4 billion, and then having Brock Lesnar was going to do that. So by him stealing the shine, releasing it, it's a business. That's why Dana was like, you're out of here.
Now let me just stop you. Now
I don't report that.
Right. Now when you just said him stealing the shine and reporting that, Ariel may have a different story on that, and that may not be fair to him, but that's what I heard too. All I'm saying is that
the entire MMA community heard that.
Yeah.
But again,
all you were doing was reiterating that.
You were just saying that. Yeah.
You didn't come up with that story. That's just something you said.
I mean, did I hear from the horse's mouth, which is Dana? No. But I heard from basically the wrangler of, what I'm saying, the guy who's the closest to the horse.
Well, we all knew.
He was also a close friend.
Yeah.
I don't know Ariel.
Yes. Ariel wasn't allowed to come in. Wasn't he banned from?
Yes.
Yeah. So we all knew that.
Now, do I think they should ban him? No. Right. That's not my doing. I'm not a journalist. I don't dig into the story. I don't give a fuck. That's not what I do. That's his issue.
So that word was kind of already around.
It was.
It's been around forever. I didn't start.
So you didn't start anything.
No, I don't have. I guess I could.
Yeah, it wasn't like you were saying something new.
I think what happened was on the Fight Companion, Brendan was talking. We were having a great time. We were just talking. And Ariel came up. I was joking around because I've seen how it's my fault because Rampage Jackson, I remember, wouldn't talk to Ariel one time, and I always thought he had a beef, and I was just joking.
I remember Rampage said he cost me $2 million.
Yeah, I said you don't like Ariel joking around. I have no problem with Ariel. I just brought it up.
You're not from this world. You're not from this world, so you don't know the back.
I wasn't talking to Ariel. And then he said something about
cost him $2 million.
Yeah, something about money. And so
again, I don't think Ariel did that.
No, he didn't do it on purpose. But we were just talking, and I think Ariel felt mischaracterized.
Fair point.
And he got upset.
Oh yeah.
Because that's the narrative around him, right? Like you have to work with. Well, I've never worked with the guy.
But it seems like he's working a lot.
Oh yeah,
look, he's a very good journalist.
He's the best we have,
and he's an important journalist.
Yeah, we need him. You need guys.
Yeah.
Because Ariel will ask the tough questions once again, and I think he's a very sensitive guy. It's not a knock. He's just sensitive. I think he went on some podcasts from what I heard and kind of maybe mischaracterized you a little bit.
I didn't see him, but
maybe not. But I think.
No, for sure he did. But my thing, like, even that's fine. That's not. I'm not that sensitive. Even that doesn't bother me.
Should I slap you just for Ariel? Should I give you a little slap just to make it?
Can I treat you like I would Ariel? Do you want to put on a suit and glasses and I'll slap you around a little bit?
Well, hold on.
Why not?
Because I feel like I should be allowed to slap you because you.
But he doesn't get slapped.
No, because you drew first blood, and I think you were a little bit insensitive.
But was he?
Wait, how was it first blood if he wasn't saying anything new?
Well, I did call him a weatherman.
Oh, okay.
I was going to do it.
Oh, that's a heavy.
Bro,
hit.
that's for you. That was a heavy slap.
Ariel.
Yeah.
Why you gotta hit him that hard?
I feel like he needs to be a little more careful with how he characterizes people.
They made
Something hard.
I didn't hit him that hard. I didn't hit him hard enough for him to
It was,
get
I heard like
Give me CT like that horse.
yeah, but I heard it with that slap.
Yeah, my thing is the world's negative enough. That's why I texted Ariel. I went, dude, our jobs are tough enough. We don't need to start a war doing that shit, man. You focus on what you do. I focus on what I do. That's it, dude.
Congrats on the new weatherman job. And so there it is. There's the first entry. What an interesting, I mean, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for the congratulations. I don't get that one. And so I know a lot of you now want to hear my take on Brendan's segment about me yesterday, I think it was. And yes, of course I saw it. I don't play the certain type of game that he plays where he pretends like he doesn't see things. And then he's like, oh, I don't run my social media. Oh, I didn't see this. Oh, I heard this. No, we know you run your social media. We know you see everything. We know that you're aware of everything and are just kind of playing it up. And that's fine. I guess it's a good gimmick. I don't get the weatherman thing. I honestly don't. In fact, that was the first time I heard about it. Is it an insult? Does it mean like we're sometimes right, sometimes wrong? I mean, it would be somewhat ironic considering the source, sometimes right, sometimes wrong. I like to pride myself on being always right. So I don't get that one. And obviously that's not what I'm mad about because I didn't bring that up yesterday. And I'm not even mad. And so I'll go back to the previous point that I made at the top of the show. I knew he was never going to apologize. I know that wasn't even a sincere apology that I got on text. It's because I tweeted about it on a Wednesday, several days later, and there was a code word in there about a Reddit page that love him dearly. And then only afterwards, 12 hours later, did I get the quote unquote apology. And then I said, all right, are you going to do this publicly? Because you said some lies about me publicly, so it seems like a natural place. Of course I knew he wasn't going to come back and be as sincere as he was on this text on camera. He can't do that. And so the funniest thing about the whole thing is I'm watching this segment. He doesn't even bring it up. His boy Brian brings it up, who continues to say, Ariel's so sensitive, Ariel's so sensitive, Ariel's so sensitive, Ariel's so sensitive. Newsflash for Brian, who I've never met before other than the time that he's been on this podcast. What makes you think I'm so sensitive? Is it because I'm annoyed that for the past like 5-6 years, you guys keep saying these lies about me and I've never even responded once? Let me ask you this, because he kept saying on the show, we're in different lanes. Almost like he's above. He's in a different lane. He's doing other things, right? He's a comedian. He's a podcaster. He's got all these shows. He's doing great. Let me ask you this, for those that watch both shows. How many times have you heard me talk about his show, him, on this show, or any other show that I've ever done? The ESPN shows, DC, JUL, MMA Hour. How many times have you heard me react to anything that has ever been said on this show from his show? How many times have you heard me talk about the state of his career? How many times have you heard me say, oh, I saw something on that show. Let me talk about this on my show. How many times? I'm going to guess zero. I'm going to say, to be fair, maybe once. I think wholeheartedly zero. Now let me ask you, how many times does he talk about me? How many times has he reacted to something that's going on in my life, my job situation, right? The behind the scenes. Let me tell you how it really is behind the scenes. Who cares more about who in this equation? For someone who wants to come out and say that he doesn't care about me and doesn't pay attention to me and has nothing to do with me and I'm a byproduct of some drone strike, I have no idea what the hell is he talking about. Is he mad at someone? Because then come out and say it. If you want to be a shooter from the hip, then come out and say it. I'm a byproduct. I don't know what the F you're talking about, but I know that you like to talk about me a lot. You like to talk about my career, my comings and goings, behind the scenes, who likes me, who doesn't like me, who wants to work with me, who doesn't want to work with me. It's a weird thing to say you don't care, different lanes, but yet you're always talking about me. That's strange. And yet I never talk about you. So who's the sensitive one? Who's the one who's actually bothered by all this? It's not jealousy, right? That can't be. We're in different lanes. So what is it? I don't get it. And it's a weird thing because it's like, all right, you're saying that, I'm a byproduct. Everything you said was about me. No one else. So who are you talking about? Who do you have a beef with? Why are you always talking about me? That's the part that I don't understand. And so even afterwards, like after I was on McAfee, I got a text. Hey man, I don't want a war. You don't want a war, right? Like, no, very nice on text. Pleasant on text. But then when we get to the show, it's stammering, it's having your friend set it up, it's taking little pot shots. So which one is it? Who's the real Brendan? That's what I want to know. Who's the real guy? I remember when I was removed from the Showtime gig for Mayweather McGregor. I remember when that happened. And you were very kind to me. You came up to me in the hotel in Toronto. I remember that vividly. And you said how messed up it was and all this stuff. And then I remember your show the following week and how you took some shots and you said we did kind of the same thing. You didn't really understand why I was there. And I was like, wow, that's not the same tone. That's totally different than what I heard at the hotel. So you're not two-faced, right? Like you're not playing an act here and then on your show playing a different act, right? Which is the real guy? I keep it 100 here. It's Helwani all day, every day. Same guy. You could say all you want about me being an instigator, a podcast. You could call me sensitive. You could do this and that. But I'm the same dude. And you know what's funny? After I had that little rant last week, let's play this game now. How many people reached out to you when you said I was tough to work with? How many people reached out to you privately and said, oh, I've had some bad experiences with that guy? Because I can tell you how many people reached out to me after I had to say a few things last week. That's weird, right? So again, like the great Dennis Green once said, they are who we thought they were. You guys are who I thought you were. You're going to sit there, he's the best, he's the this, he's that, but then pot shot. And what was that part that you took out? What was that part? You want to beat me up? We're gonna go to the lowest common denominator. You're a comedian now. You got a great gig. You want to beat me up? The guy with the glasses, the guy with the suit? That's what we're resorting to. Something, by the way, that some of the toughest human beings that I've had on the show who sometimes don't like me have never resorted to. But is that the part that they took out? Threatening me? You want me to come to LA? Should we do some bench presses? What should we do? Should we do some push-ups? What were you implying there? I don't know. I don't know what all this is about. I'm sure in a while I'll get a text. Hey bro, I don't want to fight. But isn't your guy who works on your show talking about my family on his Instagram? He is, right? Talking about my family. That's the kind of people you guys are. Fake, phony, and everyone knows who you are now. You have been outed. Everyone knows. And maybe I shine a bit of a spotlight on it, but everyone knows your whole gimmick. Brian Callen, don't talk about me. You know nothing about me. Who are you talking about? I'm sensitive. Based on what? Based on what? This might be the first time I've ever said your mouth other than the time you were on my show. You got enough going on, my man. Don't talk about me. Brent, done with you, man. Brendan, done with you. The other dude sitting next to me pretending not to know who I am when we all know that whole thing was concocted. Done with you guys. I'm over it. I'm moving on. If you want to apologize, great. But it means nothing to me. I felt like I was watching the scene from Billy Madison where he's rambling on, and that's the clip that I posted yesterday. It was an incoherent, fake segment that I expected, and then some. It was useless. We all knew it was coming. We all predicted it. You're not sorry. You double down. You don't like me. I don't care. Enjoy your little podcast. Enjoy your little comedy sets. It's all a bit. That's what I love about comedians. They'll make fun of you. They'll say, it's just a bit. It's just a joke, bro. It's just a joke. Get out of here with this nonsense. Fake, phonies, two-faced. That's who you guys are. That's exactly who you guys are. And everyone knows it. You're not doing yourselves any favor. You sit back on your little chair. Let me tell you how it was for Ariel at ESPN. Let me tell you what happened in the bed. You know nothing. You know less than nothing. Stop talking about my career. And if you're going to go to one source who has some distorted beef with me that was 1,000% wrong, reveal your source, Bubba. Reveal it. Don't start talking about a million people. Nonsense. So again, I've just wasted 20 minutes on this. High Road Helwani would be shattered. He would say, you're wasting time. You're punching down. There's no High Road Helwani anymore. It's the Helwani era. And for everyone who says you wouldn't say this to his face, of course I would. I'm not looking to fight anyone. I'm an actual civilized human being. But ask a couple of my friends in Cleveland who had issues with me over the past year and a half if I went right up to their face. If I walked up to their face when they were trying to look, ask them. If I'm that kind of guy, ask Ben Askren, ask Donald Cerrone, people in the past who have had issues with me. Do I go up to your face and try to settle beefs? Absolutely. Even when I was being banned. And the story that he doubled down on again, the whole narrative. I don't even think he knows the definition of the word narrative. Honestly, I think he doesn't know the definition of the word narrative. It's the whole narrative that the whole community is talking about. Who are these people? One dude. You have one source who got it from the one guy who tried to change the story. Enough. The jig is up, guys. Phony, fake, two-face. You can keep doubling down, triple down, quadruple down. I'm not worried about it. You're not going to hurt me. You tried to hurt me going into the Jake Paul fight. It's good. I'm here, independent, on a little island, all by myself. I'm Gucci, man. I'm Gucci, as the kids say. I'm good. So you can make up all the stories that you want. But rest assured, we all know, and we all expected this. We know who you are. You're not fooling anyone. Oh, he's the best of the business. But he's damn sensitive. Based on what, Brian? Based on what? Based on what, Brendan? Based on what? Byproduct? I'm not the one who shoots from the hip? Really? I'm not the one? Why don't you shoot from the hip? Who are you so mad at? Who was that drone strike for? Who are you so mad at? If it wasn't about me, why don't you shoot from the hip? Go ahead. We're all waiting. You won't. You won't. So that's that. I mean, one pathetic segment that was, sitting back there and listening to that. Like, really? This is what we waited a week for? You could have sent out a tweet and saved us a hell of a lot of time. Just do me a favor. Leave my name out of your mouth. Leave my family's name out of your mouth. Don't talk about them. Don't throw your minions under the bus when they talk about them. Just let's go our separate ways now, all right? I've never had a negative thing to say about you, your show, your experiences, all that. I've never said a thing when everyone piled on about your comedy and all that stuff. Never said a thing. And now you want to keep talking about my career. And then when you get called out, say, oh, he was just a byproduct. Get out of here with that nonsense. Stop talking about me. Last warning. Done. And I won't go on a media tour to talk about you. I regretted, honestly, going on McAfee's show the next day to talk about you. Because you know what? Like you told me a long time ago. True story. Asked Brendan to come on my show a long time ago. You know what he said a long, long time ago? I have a podcast. Why should I go on other people's? All right. I was like, all right. Now I know what's up. I don't have that mentality. I like to spread the love, spread the wealth. And so I'm happy to go on Patrick's show. But I'm done with it now. Enough. Go back to your jokes. Go back to your little bits and your 50 podcasts that no one listen to. All right.
Life. Here's the life. Oh, you must get your hunting. So it's like, this will be the biggest article this guy's ever going to write. Nobody goes to this fucking page. I'm sure they'll write a hit article on this, but this is what MMA media has to do. They have to come up with something to get clicks. They have to. This is what they do. You'll get from top with Ariel. Look at it now. Oh, negativity. Look at me, guys. Negativity. All right. That's what you have to go. You probably don't have any talent. Because people making real moves, making real money. Is Joe Rogan ever negative? Am I ever negative in here? Very rare. Very, very rare. But if you don't have talent, that's what you have to do.
It'll definitely get more clicks for sure.
And no one that's ever been in Joe Rogan's spot or has competed in the UFC has ever thrown shade at Joe Rogan. It's only people that report on the weather talk shit on others that have actually been in the storm. Because there's a mutual level of respect for those of us that have paid the price. And Rogan hasn't. But everybody realizes the skill and talent that Rogan has and the credibility he brings to the sport and what he's done for the sport. So it's people, these soy boys that are outside the realm that try, bro, all these guys, all these journalists, all this bullshit website, you're not even in the club. As Chris Brown says, you're in the line trying to get in the club. You can never get in the club. You're not in. So what they do is there's a line of people outside the club who need to be relevant and talk shit to get clicks because nobody's paying attention. Unless you book some big name fighter or you have 17 fighters on your show, nobody gives a fuck about your personal opinion. So you have to somehow muster something, try and figure it out. Because everything you've ever done has never worked out for you. That's how these guys operate. And it doesn't end well for any of them because they don't have any talent. Nobody's paying attention. So they have to book big guests. So they have to talk shit about Joe Rogan just to get views. Because if they get on here and rant to a camera like I do for an hour, nobody listens. Because they've never walked the walk. They've never been in the fire. They're reporting on the storm. I've been in the storm. Joe Rogan hasn't been in the storm, but he's witnessed more storms than anybody in the world. He's also a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's also inspiration to millions and millions of people. He's also made millions, hundreds of $millions off of podcasts. He's an entrepreneur. These other guys work for the man because they have to. Because they don't have talent, they don't have creativity, they don't have the work ethic to hang with guys like me, Joe Rogan. So that's where this hate comes from. And nobody fucks with it. Name one person in this line of work, whether it's entertainment, podcasting, stand-up comedian, journalism, that can make a living off hating on others. Name one guy where they get longevity with that. It will never work out for you. Never. You might get a small group of people like, yeah, this is cool, man. Fuck Joe Rogan. Fuck Schaub. Cool, man. Well, the majority of the world likes positive shit. They like people that do. They like people that put out. That people don't miss podcasts. They recognize hard work, and that's what brings people. That's what people gravitate towards. Because we all have that friend who's negative Nancy, and how's his life going? Lights are cut off. Can't feed the kids. Trying to figure shit out. What do you put out in the world, get back, man. So this guy, congrats, buddy. You did it. I bet we never hear from him again. Ever again. And it's cool to hate on Joe Rogan right now, right? Because he has a different stance, and you can't separate the two. But I guarantee you'd rather trade spots with Joe Rogan than whatever the fuck it is that you do. You think this is journalism? No, this is a hit piece. This is a hit piece. When you wrote this, I'm sure your editorials were like, oh, this is great, man. Let's get clicks. Now what are you going to do, dude? When you write an article about me? When you write an article about Chael Sonnen? People that actually do shit with their lives? What are you going to do? Where do you go from there? You're going to write an article on Mackenzie Dern in the main event? Nobody's going to read? What are you going to do, dude? You're going to write an article on the recap of Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, have him on your show, and hopefully people tune in? What are you going to do? You're going to book more talented people so we tune in? What are you going to do? And you know what Joe Rogan does? Or what I do? We don't respond to it. Why? Because we're so fucking busy doing what we do, staying in our lane, while you guys take shots. It never works out for anybody. Even this will bring on shots. Just saying this. I don't give a fuck. I don't see any of it. To bank on myself. You guys are sheep. And you write articles like this, where you have to interview 17 fighters, people tuning your show, and fired from every job you've ever had. Is what it is. There you go. Haters gonna hate.
That's definitely a hater piece.
Great article, my man.
And so I know a lot of you want me to respond to Brendan Schaub on his show. A great soliloquy, a great rant, 10 or so minutes. Thank you to the PF Chang's crew for the clip. I would never know otherwise, of course. Why would we know? We don't check social media, right? We don't know what's going on. And you know, it's like one of those things. It's like, again, do I have to go over this? Again, do we have to talk about this? It's the subtle, not so subtle shots. It's the passive aggressive. It's the quick mentioning of the name. And there's a part of me that doesn't want to drum it up all over again. But then there's a bigger part of me that is tired of the bullies, tired of the BS artists, tired of the fake people. And so I kind of feel compelled, if I may, on behalf of the MMA community, to speak up And if I may, and they haven't asked me to do this, to perhaps, I don't know, defend our honor. And so I came away from that little clip with a few conclusions. Number one, the biggest one was this man legitimately thinks that he is better than us. I want you guys to realize that. This man thinks he's better than us. And when I say us, I don't just mean me. I don't just mean the MMA media. I mean you as well. Watch the demeanor. Listen to the words. This man thinks that he's better than us. And he's sitting back and he's talking about, having talent, not having talent, careers, money, jobs, places in life, pecking orders, what you've done, what you haven't done, and casting all kinds of conclusions on people, all kinds of aspersions, all kinds of fabrications on people when really, you don't know what you're talking about. And he sits there and he talks about how he wants to be positive, and he talks about how he wants to, have a good, peaceful life. Meanwhile, this is the guy who's been talking shit for the past 5 years. This is the guy who is literally sitting there while talking about being positive, insulting MMA media, saying that they're irrelevant, calling them hacks, while saying that he wants to be positive. This is the guy who, after 5 years of listening to his lies about not just me, but others as well, finally made me snap. Don't get it twisted. This is not a positive fellow. Don't fall for it. It's, again, fake and phony. And now I can't wait to see who calls me, who texts me this time to say, hey, we want to be friends, all Brent, and then not follow through. Because last time, it was Brian. The first time, it was Brandon. Who's going to follow up this time? Is it Trim? Is he going to follow up? I'm tired of the fakeness. And all I said was, all you guys had to do was apologize cleanly, once and for all, and this would be over. I wouldn't keep bringing it up. In fact, I'd probably ignore the question like I ignore some of the other questions that people try to get me to answer that are, scraping the bottom of the barrel. But you don't. You make it worse. You sit there and you talk about how MMA media are a bunch of hacks. You sit there and you talk about how MMA media are a bunch of losers who never walked into the fire, who are just weathermen, who have no talent. First of all, let me explain something to all the fighters, all the managers, all the promoters, all the hanger-ons, all the sisters, all the brothers, all the mothers, all the fathers involved in MMA, in the MMA community. Let me be very, very clear about something right here now, because we've heard it since the beginning of time. We've heard it since we all started. MMA media are hacks. They're losers. They can't hang. They don't know what they're doing. These are the men and women who have devoted their lives in some way, shape, or form to covering you. They're the ones who have told editors, hey, you should focus on this sport. You should focus on these fights, on these fighters, on these organizations. We're usually the first to go, believe it or not. But these are the people that focus on you and cover you and think and talk about you 24/7. It's not the other media that you wish you were covered by. Trust me, I just came from the mainstream. They don't know you like we know you. They don't care about you like we care about you. They don't follow you and cover you like we do. And so whenever you guys talk about MMA media being hacks, what does that say about you? What does that say about you when the people who have devoted their lives to covering you are the hacks, are the losers? What does that say about you? Think about what you're saying about yourself. These are the ones covering you. Do people talk about that in other beats? Oh, the baseball media. Yeah, of course, you may not like someone here or there. You may not be on the same page. But we hear this time and again from these people. Oh, they're hacks. They're this, they're that. They've never been through the fire. Meanwhile, not every political reporter has run for president. Not every film critic has made a movie. Not every restaurant critic has run a restaurant. It's a tired, lazy BS excuse to hide from the other stuff. And you talk about these op-ed pieces. So there was this piece in Bloody Elbow about Joe Rogan. First of all, I don't agree with the piece. I think Joe Rogan is a valued member. I think he's an important part of the sport. I think he should be in a Hall of Fame. He has done a tremendous amount of good for the sport. I have no issues with Joe Rogan's place in the sport. My only issue is the one that I said back in the day, 2016, when he spread the lie, and I'm over it. I don't care. Honestly. My uncle goes on his show. It's all good. But this article was saying that Joe Rogan should be removed from the broadcast. Now, I don't agree with that. I think the way they use him is perfect. 12 shows, it's perfect. Pay-per-views, it feels like a big deal. He's a star. He's one of the biggest comics in the world, one of the biggest podcasters in the world. It makes sense. He was there in the dark days. He's there now. He loves the sport. And then for 35 other events, or whatever the number is, 31 events, you get Bisping and you get DC and you get Paul Felder and you get Dominic Cruz and you get, obviously Anik and Brendan Fitzgerald and John Gooden and Laura Sanko. I mean, you get the best of the best. So I don't agree with it. But every time there's an opinion piece, they're like, this isn't journalism. First of all, you talk about people who don't know what you've been through. Who are you to talk about journalism? What the hell do you know about journalism? Because you sit in front of a microphone? You know about journalism? Because you've been interviewed by people you know about journalism? You don't. And if you did, you would know that since the beginning of time, since the beginning of media, since the beginning of papers, newspapers, internet, radio, the op-ed piece, the opinion piece, the column has been a part of journalism. Everyone knows that there's opinion pieces in the paper. There's straight newsers in the paper. There's something for everyone. And so what's the difference? We're not allowed to have an opinion? That's a part of covering the sport. So you dismiss this like it's like, oh, that's not journalism. That's not this. Of course, it is journalism. It's a part of journalism. Talk about the hacks. Talk about the guys, who need to talk about you guys for clicks. First of all, they were talking about Rogan. They weren't talking about you. He has the talent. You don't. Let's just call it like it is. He's the guy with the $200 million Spotify deal. You don't. And so don't lump yourself in on that fight. I think it's honorable. I will say I think it's honorable. The loyalty is nice. I will say that from the bottom of my heart. I like a guy who has a guy's back. Pause. But you know what I'm saying? I like a guy who defends the honor of his friend. You know what I'm saying? I respect that. Much respect. Honestly. But this had nothing to do with you. And you use this article as an opportunity to take shots on a bunch of people. And if I'm being honest, it felt like you were just talking about me. And that's why I'm spending so much time again in the show about this. And so let me clear up something right here now for the final time, because it will be brought up over and over again, and it will still probably be brought up. I have never, in my life, in media, going on 15 years of doing this, I have never had a conversation with an editor, with a website, where someone told me about clicks. Write about this, write about that. I've never been paid off of clicks. I've never been asked to make headlines that are click-worthy, clickbaity. These detractors, these naysayers, love to talk about the clicks and how he writes stuff. No one cares about that. You think that Joe Rogan piece is going to break the bank? You think it's going to change the future of Bloody Elbow, of Vox Media? By the way, Vox owns Bloody Elbow. I don't have anything to do with them, but hey, sister site. You think that changes anything? It doesn't. Stop saying that. And even if it did, you're in the pay-per-view business. You're in the ticket selling business. You're in the podcast business. People in the newspaper business, what do you think? They did things like just for the sake of it, out of the goodness of their heart? Of course, everyone's here to make money. So like when you use that as a reason to hate on something, it's A, inaccurate, and B, stupid, because it's actually the complete opposite of how people run business. People try to sell things. The same way you try to sell merch to no one and rip off logos of other people. The same way you try to sell, comedy tickets to no one, and then they have to combine the days. The same way you try to put up podcasts to no one and pay for views and downloads. It's the same thing. You would like to have those clicks. You would like to have those listens. You would like to have those dollars and cents, but you don't. And the issue is we're all in this to make money, but no one has ever said do this or that in order to get some clicks. Now there were a couple pot shots at me that I must address. The jobs. How many jobs have you been fired from? How many jobs have you had? Again, I wish he would just at me. I wish he would just, say my name directly. But, I don't know. Maybe Helwani is too tough to say in a soliloquy like that. Let's correct the record. I've only been fired from one official job, and that was the Fox job. You know what happened there. You know that had nothing to do with me. You know they paid me for the rest of the year. And you know the reason why I was let go was because the UFC told them to let me go. And you can bring up the Showtime gig as well. That was a 3-day gig. It was a 1-week gig. They paid me out as well. And that, again, was because of the UFC. Other than that, I have stood the test of time. And if you want to call up Bristol, Connecticut right now and ask them about the contract they offered me, go ahead. I was not fired. Now let's talk about you. College football, how'd that go? How did NFL go? How did fighting go? How did comedy go? How did podcasting go? How did TV go? Did you achieve your goals? Did you realize your dreams? Did you make it to the top? Was your claim to fame being told by your friend that it was time to move on and it was a great moment? I mean, we talked about it on this show. He put you over. You were the biggest babyface in the biz. You had it. Silver platter. You had it. You were going after everyone. You were on this show, that show. You were the guy, the truth teller. But how did those gigs go? And how are they going now? Don't talk about other people's jobs. Again, you do this fake gimmick where you're like, oh, holier than thou. I just sit back and I stay in my lane. I don't read anything. You do that whole gimmick. Meanwhile, you read everything. You're affected by everything. And then you throw these pot shots. Those who live in glass houses should not throw any kind of stone, ever. And right now, that glass house is, it is right there. Wherever that, it is sitting right there. Don't talk about people's jobs. That's how we got into this mess. Don't talk about people's livelihoods. When you don't know, again, you keep doubling down. You'll text me and you'll apologize and then you'll keep talking about it again. And so the bottom line is, tired of people like you spitting lies, BSing us all, pretending like you know what you're talking about. There's a reason I never spoke about you for 5-6 years. I never responded to you. I don't need to. You talk about how I need to have 17 guests or so on my show. First of all, 5 today, and they were great. 6 if you count Pitbull. I love talking to these people. There's a reason why when I went to ESPN, they wanted to do Ariel and the bad guy DC and Helwani, and actually the biggest point of contention between us was that I wanted to talk to too many people. If you look at the YouTube numbers on the nose, this segment does better than most of the fighters. But I love talking to the fighters. It's all about the fighters. It will always be about the fighters. So you can make fun all you want that I get 17 guests on my show, that I need these guests to get over, to get views, and that, oh, if we talk about you, that's how we... I never uttered your name. I never said a word about you. You're the one who keeps talking about us. You're the one who keeps sitting there looking at the websites when your boy pulls them up and talking about us. And then you steal our ideas and our content. You do it to Luke, you do it to Brian, you do it to me, you do it to everyone. You steal our ideas and you sit there and you pass them off as your own, and you even botch it when you do it. You botch it when you do it every single time. You sit there and you rip off our ideas. It's plagiarism 101. Except you're not writing anything, you're saying it. And it's hard to catch that way. But trust me, we're all onto you. You sit there and you talk about Tyson Fury being your favorite fighter, and then you say that you want to slit your wrist when you hear about mental health in Tyson Fury. You truly love Tyson Fury, you fake phony. You care about his struggles with mental health. So you can say all that you want about the 17 guests. You can say all that you want about the fighters. I love talking to the fighters. I'll always love talking about the fighters. And at least I don't pay them to come on my show. At least I don't have to pay them to come hang out and eat a taco with me. And at least I don't have them say, hey, you got to do this show if you want to do this show. You know what I'm talking about. If you want to shoot, we'll shoot. Stop talking about things when you're living in a glass house and you have no idea what is going on. If the knock that you have against me is that I have 17 guests on the show when I don't, but I have fighters on the show, big names, small names, middle names, medium names, God bless. But at least I don't pay them to come on, and at least I don't try to cut deals from one show to the next. And in conclusion, I'll just say, and this is a shout out to my friends over on the internet, the PF Chang's community, the homeless cat community. And this is a message to everyone in the back over there. This is a message to any friend I have, to any family member I have, to any colleague that I have, to any associate that I have. If it ever gets to the point where I'm big enough to where there is a Reddit page, any kind of web page, made in my honor to celebrate my show, where they only talk about the podcast, if it ever gets to that point, congratulate me. But please, do me a favor. Please, bottom of the heart, do me this favor. If it ever gets to that point where there's 40,000 or so people whose sole mission is to expose you and to call you out on your BS, please tell me to stop. Your own community turned on you. Your own community figured you out. And we know you're rattled by it. And I'm not a proponent of online bullying. But dare I say you brought this onto yourself, my man. You brought this upon yourself. One more time. Stop talking about me. Stop with the fake apologies. Just, you did it well the last couple of weeks. You didn't bring it up. You stayed in your lane. You were in the storm. We were reporting on the storm. Better that way. Joe Rogan doesn't need you to fight his battles. Do your thing. God bless. Stay in your lane. Do your shows. I wish you nothing but the best. But stop talking about me and the MMA media. Stop lying about the business, people's jobs, the fighters. Stop all of that. And again, I'll say I'm done. Until the next, unless you want to just apologize once and for all on the air, like you said you were going to do, like you promised me that you were going to do, like Brian Callen said he was going to do and never did. If you guys want to do that, then that'll be great. And I'll be here to accept said apology. And so to go back to the original question, why I posted that screenshot. F Brendan Schaub, F the fighter and the kid, F below the belt, F that whole crew. And if you don't want to be down with them, then F you too. Brian Callen, F you too. Shrimp, F you too. Dude in the back with the websites, F you too. When I see them, they run. Okay, now we'll stop with the analogies, but you get the point. F all those guys. I'm done with them. Again. Once and for all, stop talking about us. We are done. And so that's my piece on that. Shout out to Omar. And it's crazy that I said it the first time. And then, may he rest in peace. But I will remind you guys, it's not a gimmick, it's a lifestyle. If you come at the king, you best not miss. Once again, I don't care who you are. And you can stay in my good graces, you can stay awfully quiet, but you best not miss. And this guy, and these guys, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, continue to miss. Clank, 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 clank. They continue to miss. Stop shooting. We're good. God bless. Enough. 2 more questions. Let's not end on that note.
Now, did you get anybody angry at you? What did you do when I wasn't looking? Because I feel like you might have said something on below the belt or one of your shows. Well, you look a little lost right now, but
what happened?
I'm asking. Well, there's a journalist that got all bunched up, came after me. I don't even know him. I'm just walking the earth. I walk the earth.
That's my favorite part. He came after you.
And now I'm
yeah, dude, come after me. Don't go after Brian.
I had a very nice conversation with this man. I've never said one bad thing
dude,
about this person.
What'd I tell you? What'd I tell you? Now, this journalist is, dude, and I told you guys this when I talked about it earlier in front of the kid. There's a few things. It's like Ellen in LA. When you come to LA, I can guarantee you two things. When you get a parking ticket, you're gonna hear Ellen's an asshole.
Yeah.
When you get an MMA, you're gonna hear two things. Hold on, you're gonna hear two things. No,
don't go too. Let's not.
You're gonna hear two things.
Yeah.
Khabib's the GOAT.
Yeah.
And the journalist is a complete nightmare to work with.
Okay, I don't know.
That's not me. I didn't start that.
But you're already doing it. No,
I didn't start that.
But you're being mischievous.
Look, you need journalists. They need to tell the stories of the warriors.
No, you're doing some stuff now. Stop fucking with machinery. Hold on.
Leave him 5 minutes.
Now stop. I told you not to do this.
I'm not doing it.
Look, listen. Hold on. All I'm saying is this. I don't like this stuff. We are a comedy podcast. I'm not interested in going bad on anybody, especially when I have a nice conversation with this person I never said anything about.
You didn't, though. That was fake.
It was?
You've seen his true colors.
It bums me out.
I don't help it. He's the Ellen of MMA.
Well,
He's the Ellen of MMA.
I have nothing.
Remember there's like the rumblings of like Ellen and Cosby and all that shit? Same thing.
Here's the thing. Okay, listen. I don't like
with
anybody I have a thing with. With a couple things I don't like going bad with.
But we don't have a thing. But we don't have a thing
at all.
But I was thinking about this on the way in here. Literally, the only time I thought about it. Slept great last night. My only thing is it hasn't worked out. And so you got to point the finger because you're not coming at me because I'm doing bad.
You're not doing bad.
Oh,
you're doing pretty well.
Oh, daddy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
keep
cute.
doing better.
I know.
Here's the thing. I
so
just don't like being mischaracterized, and I don't like where somebody says that I or we said something that I don't like that, and I also don't want to go bad on anybody who's not here to defend themselves. I also don't have a beef with anybody. I actually don't. You know me. I just don't. So hey, take it easy.
He's not important enough to have a beef with. I mean, but he has to do it. So I get it. Dude. It's been tough. Man. It hasn't worked out. You're back at square one.
All right. Let's move on. I just want to see if you're doing it right now. Stop it.
What I do, though, dude. I'm a nice guy. I'm a nice guy. First team, I'm a nice guy.
You are a nice guy. A lot
of people, right? Yeah, they don't know about it.
You have a lot of friends.
Yep, tons of friends. Here's my thing. I'm such a nice guy. I was gonna tell me this is nice. I'm in Vegas tonight, Friday and Saturday. I was like, he's never seen a show. He doesn't like my comedy. He doesn't like my comedy.
Come see for yourself.
Well, I don't make comedy for soy boys. So here's my thing. I thought we're gonna make an exception because they have a no soy boy rule at most of the clubs.
All right.
No,
I'm gonna stop.
No, hold on. No, I'm not.
You're already being.
Let me finish this. So I was like, I'll have him come to Vegas Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and then it hit me. Oh my God, he can't come to Vegas. He's banned from Vegas.
All right, no.
I'm not saying his name.
Okay, let's.
He's banned from Vegas. I'm just saying he's banned from Vegas.
You're being mischievous,
bro.
No,
I'm trying to give the guy tickets to my sold out shows.
You're being more.
That's not nice.
I don't want you to be.
But you know what? I asked the club. I said, hey, can you put this journalist down? And they go, he's banned from Vegas. And I said, oh my God, that's right because he got.
All right. Let's change the subject. Can we move on? Can we move on?
I have nothing. I didn't do anything.
You're acting very innocent.
Little me.
You're not little you right now.
Little me.
You're being mischievous.
Here's my whole thing with if you want to watch the beef, whatever. If he has beef, that's fine. I dare you. I dare you. Come on the show. You won't talk like this in my face. I'll fly to New York.
Dude, come on. Stop looking lost. You're looking lost and innocent right now.
But I'm not talking about. There's no threat here. There's not. What we're talking about. But you want to talk about Brian the Kid Callen, the 52-year-old?
54. I'm too old to have beef. I can't do it. I can't do it, and I can't get involved.
But he said if you saw a person, you'd run.
Now I'm very insecure with that stuff.
I love that. When I heard that, I'm like, okay,
I'm insecure. You can't do that with me because I get insecure. So what happens is I'm so insecure. I go because my biggest fear is I'm a coward. My biggest aspiration is to be a hero.
So we know you're not a coward. The young guy.
So when that happens, I get all. No, stop doing that.
I haven't said anybody's name.
You're not so innocent right now. So I want to change the subject. I want to move on because we have work to do.
But if you're in a room,
we have work to do.
Hey, but if you're in a room with him,
I gotta run. I'm gonna run.
You're gonna run.
I'm afraid.
You're afraid.
I'm afraid.
Right.
I don't want any trouble.
I heard the journalist has hands.
Dude, and all I know how to do is sit in the pocket. That's all I know how to do. Now a lot of people see you piece me up a little bit, so they make the mistake of thinking that I'm illiterate when it comes to.
I'm a betting man. It's well documented. I like to make bets.
Yeah.
I bet my entire salary. If you guys went face to face,
dude, look,
the 53-year-old man with
I'm wearing a tight shirt. So you see what I'm working with? It's a little unfair.
It's unfair. You wore black today to look shredded.
And
you're flaring your neck because you're with me.
By the way, when I'm wearing a black shirt, this is at 54. I still haven't let it go. It's amazing that I don't do for a guy who wants to be big so badly. It's incredible that I've never done steroids. And the only reason I've done is I'm afraid it's gonna fuck with my energy. Game. I like everything right now. It's all going. But I do this. The way I'm sitting right now, I will do this with my arms. We all do.
You're flexing.
Right? I do this, and sometimes I do this. Look, I do this to make myself look.
Oh, to make pop.
I'm just talking. I'm just
trying to peacock right now because if that journalist sees you, you just want to know what you're working with.
I do it regardless. I do it all the time. I just want people to think that I'm.
You've been fired from your job.
Some woman said to me,
you got 5 minutes.
Stop. Listen, I want you to change the subject. I want you to stop. Please, I'm begging you. Please, I'm begging you. Now, I'm trying to change. What I do is this. This girl said, I thought it was you.
And I jumped in. Now I'm getting the hot tag. And so once again, it is time for everyone's favorite segment of the week. The time that I respond to the bullies, to Tweedledee and Tweedledum. The time that I respond to the two guys who, for whatever reason, are too afraid to say my name. Come on, guys. Like Destiny's Child once said, say my name, say my name. Let's go. It's Ariel Helwani. I'm not afraid of saying your names. Brendan Schaub, Brian Callen. I thought we were done after last week. I thought we were finished. And then I get a bunch of people who say to me, oh, did you hear their response? Oh, what's going on? Did my camera die? Are we still on? I got a bunch of people who reached out to me and said, did you hear their response? Did you hear what they had to say? We're still on, right, guys?
We are, yes.
Okay. Did you hear what they had to say? And I said, no, I didn't hear what they had to say. No, I did not hear what they had to say. And then finally I went and heard it, and I never heard my name. I never heard them actually say Ariel Helwani, but it was very clear that they were talking about me. I saw two guys who were drinking at whatever point of the day it was, morning, night, afternoon. I saw two guys who needed to muster up the liquid courage to talk about me, but not even really talk about me. What was up with that? You guys had to drink in order to respond to little old me, puny little old me, the soy boy. And by the way, I'm an oat milk guy. Call me oat boy. Or you can call me goat boy, whatever you want. Soy, not a big fan, but whatever the hell that insult means, I'll wear it proudly. What, does this pink shirt make you guys uncomfortable? The fuck are you talking about with these stupid insults? And so you sit there and you don't even have the balls. You don't even have the guts to say my name. Cowards. You have to drink. You have to respond to me at the beginning of your show. Never put anything in your title. Entitle it journalist beef, right? To get more views. Who's trying to profit off who now? Who starts their show with this? Who ends their show with this? You say that, hey, I need 17 guests to come on my show. You guys could just sit in front of the camera and talk, and people want to hear what you have to say. You need the big dogs to come on to get you over. And then you invite me to come on your show. Who needs who? I would never invite you bozos on my show. The only reason I had you guys on my show was because my good friend was doing PR for you guys way back in the day and asked me as a favor to have you guys on. I remember when I asked Brendan Schaub to come on my show many moons ago, and he said he has his own podcast. He doesn't need to go on other people's podcasts. And I said, cool, best of luck, bro. And now you're inviting me, the guy who needs guests to get over, to come on the show that doesn't need guests? How does that all make sense? Can't say my name, taking shots. And this is the big difference between you guys and myself and why it would be great if this ended. The big difference is you guys, and especially you, Brendan, you will continue to lie. You will play by a different set of rules. I will never lie. There are no skeletons in this closet. I will never lie to you guys. I will never make stuff up. I will never come out here and just pretend that I know things. I will never bend the truth. You will. So we're playing by a different set of rules. So you'll continue to come on there and say, I got fired by ESPN. Like, that's such a funny joke. Again, I'll tell you, call them up right now. Do you want my boss's name? Call them up. I'll even freaking fax you, email you, scan, text you the offer that they sent me. No one got fired. By the way, didn't you have a cup of coffee doing SportsCenter stuff with ESPN back in the day? I saw you in Bristol. I saw you with your little suit. What happened to that? What happened to that cup of coffee? Who actually got let go from ESPN back in the day? If we want to go, didn't you have a cup of coffee with UFC Tonight and Fox back in the day? I think they thought that you were maybe one of the best brains for the arts. What happened to that? And so he'll continue to bend the truth. He'll continue to say that I was fired by ESPN even though I wasn't. I'm doing way better now, way happier, financially, all these things. Continue to say that. We'll come up with the asinine excuse that, or story, I don't even know what it was, that I'm banned from the city of Las Vegas. What the F does that mean? I mean, it's like at this point, what am I doing here? I almost feel bad. It feels so one-sided at this point. I legit feel bad for you guys. This is the best you got? This is your best shot? Coming up that I'm banned from the city of Las Vegas, that I can't go to your rinky-dink comedy show with the other 25 people in attendance that you claim was sold out, yet on every website, 50% off, Groupon this, discount code that? What are you talking about, banned from Las Vegas? Were you trying to say banned from the UFC, even though that's not true either? Or did you actually really believe that I was banned from Las Vegas? Because if you did, I was there in August for SummerSlam. I just did a deal with another sports book. I don't know what the F you were talking about. You think these guys want to be a business with me? Like, why am I even paying attention to this? Why am I even answering this? I don't know. And people now keep saying, have mercy, don't punch down, don't do this. Listen, again, I will repeat, this all could have ended if you just would have apologized like you said you were going to on your show, because you didn't talk about me being a bad journalist or a bad host or a bad interviewer. You were talking about my character, and that means a lot. You were talking about my integrity, and that means a lot. My jobs, my well-being, my livelihood. You were talking about my family. And that's where things get a little dicey for me. And so I would say, as far as a response is concerned, I was like trying to rate it. I was trying to rate the response. Best I could come up with, 1.7 out of 10. That was the best I could come up with. 1.7 at best, maybe 1.6, 1.7. You know that number, right? You've heard of that number, the 1.7, lowest rated comedy show in the history of IMDb. At least that's what I'm told. At least that's what the people are saying. Weak, phony, and then you got Brian sitting there like, hey, you're causing trouble. You don't want this, you don't want that. Brian Callen is so afraid of me at this point. He doesn't want me to open up that closet and release everything that's in there. Well, call me up, beg me to stop this, do all this nonsense, text me, call me 2 minutes later, and then go on the show and not deliver what he said he was going to deliver, which was to clear the air and to end this once and for all. You're not fooling anyone. And the amazing thing about all this, is the amount of people that have reached out to me to talk about you guys. Holy shit. I could not believe the amount of people on a daily basis to talk to me about you guys. Man, you guys have pissed off a lot of people over the last 5 years. People that you wouldn't even believe that are coming out of the woodwork to reach out to me. People I've never met, people I haven't talked to tell me, let me tell you about the time this happened and that happened and this time. Now, I have a line. I don't think you guys have a line, but I have a line, all right? I'm not going to make this personal, but rest assured, there are people begging me to make this personal. End this now. End this now. There are people begging me to make this personal. You're going to go back on your show and drink like a bunch of drunken slobs and talk shit about me. It's not happening anymore. You're going to go out there and say that I don't have the balls to say this to your face. Did you forget at my puniest that I stood in front of some of the scariest mofos on this planet? Rampage Jackson? Did you forget that I stood in front of Nick Diaz when he wanted to kill me? Rampage when he wanted to smack my head off? Did you forget Mayhem Miller face to face? And I didn't I'm not a fighter. I'm not here to fight. I quoted Hit 'Em Up, which is one of the greatest songs of all time by Tupac. I'm not trying to fight you guys. That's probably the only thing you can do better than me is fight. And you didn't do a great job of that as well. But hey, respect. You stepped in there. I never did. But the lowest common denominator is always, oh yeah, you can't, you're not man enough to fight. Oh, you want to go toe to toe? You won't say this to my face. I double dare you today, Junior. Speak. I never asked to fight you guys. I just said make it right. I said stop talking shit about me. And you won't. And you keep it up. And now you have nothing else to say. And so now you're going to challenge me to a fight. And so you're going to say, hey, you won't have the balls to say this to our face. You don't have the balls to say. And then you got the other dudes coming out, like Josh Thompson and all these dudes, John McCarthy, all these guys. Look at the difference between those guys and the guys like Dom Cruz, like Michael Bisping, like DC, like Chael. The guys who are confident and comfortable in their skin and in their place in the sport and in their place in the history of the sport. They don't have to go out there and talk shit about journalists, talk shit about media, putting them down, making them feel like they're less adequate. The people who have put in the time as well, they don't have to do that. These guys try to come out of the woodwork to defend their Lord and Saviors, whether it's Rogan or Schaub, and then they come out and make it all about themselves. When did my credentials have anything to do with any of this? When did have I ever called myself an analyst? Have you ever seen me standing in front of the screen with a little pen and a little screen breaking down fights? No, I've never done it. I'm not that guy. I've never been that guy. But if you want to know what my credentials are, and if you want to know if I'm allowed or worthy enough to sit here and talk about this and interview the baddest men and women on the planet, I have a piece of paper at my home in Montreal from one of the greatest broadcasting schools in the world, Syracuse University, the SI Newhouse School of Public Communications, that allows me to do this for a living, to talk into this. And so if we want to talk about credentials, we want to talk about who should be there and who shouldn't. What are your credentials? What allows you to talk in front of this microphone? By the way, John McCarthy, when you left the sport, and all due respect to you, you send me nice text messages all the time, but then you go on and talk shit about me on your show. Who called you out when you left the sport to do broadcasting for the Fight Network, to be the John Madden of MMA? Who said that you didn't deserve to speak in front of a microphone, to speak on camera? Where were your credentials? You're not a broadcaster. You never done. No one did, because they respected you, because you put in the work and you're a legend and an OG of the game. Same with Josh Thompson. What are your credentials to speak it? Because you walk the walk? No, we're talking about credentials here. I have a degree in journalism. I have a degree in broadcasting. What do you guys have? I'm not trying to fight. I'm not trying to go, you're coming into my world. I'm allowed to talk into this because I have a degree that says I'm allowed. So stop trying to question me. Stop trying to take shots at my credibility. I've been doing this for 15 years. I was going to your fights when a lot of other people weren't. Stop trying to make this about yourself. This isn't about you guys. This was about one hater, one jealous, insecure, fake phony who kept coming out and talking about me time and again for the past 5 years, talking about my career, my livelihood, who spread lies about 199, who spread lies about me being a good teammate, a bad teammate, when we all know it came from one source, and I cleared it up with him. It would be nice if he came out and rectified that, but that's on him. Who came out and said that the only reason I did the Jake Paul stuff was because he turned down, who came out and said that I was fired from ESPN. Do you understand why this pisses me off? Do you understand why the sight of YouTube bozos pisses me off? Because you keep coming out there and you think that you're getting over on me. You think you're more successful than me. You say that I'm back at square one, working for an incredible company. Trust me, I have been around the block. I have worked for a bunch of people. Do you want to go through the list now of how many people I'm working with? Partners, people who are supporting me? Who's partnering with you guys? Who are you working with? I remember you on Fox, not anymore. How's that going? How's the ESPN stuff going? How's the Showtime stuff going? How's all that going? If I'm so bad to work with, why did Fox want me back? Why did they want me back if I was so bad to work with? And all these other people. You sound like clowns. You sound like bozos. This can all end very quickly. And so let's go back to the thing, because you got a bunch of people, again, people trying to make it about themselves. You got all the hanger-oners. You got this washed up, old Mufasa looking like character in my comments all day, all night, trying to get a piece of the pie, trying to get the rub, trying to get put over by Helwani. And so let me answer you guys very clearly, because I've been waiting to, give you the response that you oh so desire, that you oh so crave from me, because you're looking for little old me, little skinny ass, soft soy boy me to come on your show and to put you over. And so my answer is yes. I'd be happy to come on your show. Pick the time, pick the place, bring all your friends, bring all your joke writers, because I know you don't come up with your own crappy material yourself. Bring all those guys, and I'll come by myself. I'd be happy to come on. You know what? I want the show to sound as good as possible, and I want the show to look as good as possible. I want the lighting to be just right. I want to be comfortable. So I'll tell you what. You want me to come on your show? I'll come on. Pick the day, pick the time. No problem, Chico. Anytime. But I'm going to do it from this seat, right here, where I'm comfortable, in front of this beautiful microphone that I've been given by the great people at Vox Media. And you'll come on here, and I think you guys could do live, even though you don't for whatever reason. We're live, baby. This is a shoot. All right? And we'll talk. And you can simulcast it. You can do whatever you want with it. But I'll talk here too. And I'll have people who can watch it live on our channel, or they can watch it live on your channel that you guys own, that you're so proud of. Go ahead. You can do that. So tell me, anytime you want. Do you want to do that? I'll happily do that. I'll say everything that I've said to your face and then some via screen. Oh, wait, screen not enough? You said you'd come to New York, right? Anytime. Let me know. Again, it'll be the guys in the back over here, but you both can come. Anytime. Again, I think you have me confused with a coward, with a phony. I have stood in front of some of the baddest guys on the planet, and some of them have made me nervous, but I never back down. I never flinch. If that's not good enough for you, how about this? Why don't I just call you right now? I'm sure you're watching. You don't think I have the balls to say any of this to your face? You think I'm actually afraid of you guys? What are you going to do? Beat me up? What are you going to do? Slap me? That's what you're going to resort to? Fathers? Professionals? Broadcasters? What are you going to do? You don't think I have the balls? Here we go. Here's balls. Who's going to pick up now? It's from my phone. Didn't tell the guys in the back about this. You don't think I have the balls to say any of this to you? You don't think I have the balls to say this to you guys? Let's try Callen. He wants to make peace. Let's call him right now. How about that? He texted me. Here we go. Let's see if he picks up. Nothing? What happened, guys? Oh, am I catching you off guard? The same way you talk shit about me over and over and over and over and over again? Is that catching you off guard? What is that? Come on, dog. You think I'm afraid of you guys? Call me back. I'll be here all day. We'll hash it out, because you want to make things public, right? You want to make things public. You want to talk about my livelihood publicly. You want to talk about my situation, about the people I work with. Look at all the people standing up for me now. Look at all the fighters who have my back. Look at all the people liking those posts. Who has your back? Who's looking out for you? Who's defending you guys? Let me know. And so fine, you don't want to talk? Fine. We'll do it on the show here. We'll do it in person, or we could just drop all this once and for all. And you give me what I want. I want you to go out there on your show and say that you lied about me constantly, over and over again, for whatever stupid reason, because you're jealous. I don't know what it is. Never had an issue, and I always kept my mouth shut. High road Helwani. High road Helwani. No more. Say that I'm a soy boy, that I'm a this, I'm a that. I remember you crying on air. That's why I'm a soy boy? Because I cried once? Because someone said that they were going to end my career, put a bullet in my head? Why were you crying on air again? I think it was about your friend, right? What happened then? I forgot about that story. What happened then? Someone can remind me what happened then. I can't remember. An amazing ability to fail up. From Rogan to everyone in between. That's what you should be proud of. You've worked for all these people and none of them are beside you now. Again, I'll tag you. I'll come and say right to your face. I'll talk about you. I am not afraid. In fact, I was able to unearth a clip from back in the day of you actually, for some bizarre reason, saying that I make you nervous. Who would have thought? I've never claimed to be a fighter. I've never claimed to be a person who wants to go in there. I've only shown the utmost respect to everyone. And I never even hated on you guys. You guys did a great thing. You were given something that was really special on a silver platter. But what you have done over the last few years is kick everyone while they were down, talk shit about people, lie about people, make people miserable. I'm in Montreal visiting my family and I have to listen to you sitting on your stupid little chair talking shit about me, about my career, about people not wanting to, like all this nonsense. If you can't get it through your thick head with your hairstyle that seems to change every single freaking day, with your nice little clothes and your cool little hat and your facial and all this stuff, because you're so damn insecure. If you can't get it through that head of yours, that this would bother me, that this would offend me, that this would piss me off, that enough was enough, I don't know what to say. And so I can't wait for you guys to go back on your show with your stupid little bits and not say my name once again and drink and stutter and make a fool of yourselves and pretend, Brian, like you want all this to end. Like you want to be peaceful, like you want to be positive and talk about how you're a successful comedian. And meanwhile, post a picture of you in front of 25 guys at some club in Las Vegas that no one's heard of. Meanwhile, Michael Bisping, in an amazing twist of fate, is posting a picture in front of 10,000 people all over England. I mean, the jokes write themselves. Josh Thompson, God bless. I know you want me to, to make you famous. I know you want me to talk back to you and all this stuff. Just do me a favor. When we go back and forth on Twitter, come up with your own material, Bubba. Come up with your own material. Stop stealing people's tweets. Stop stealing their ideas. Stop making this about you. It was never about you. It was never about Big John and your little podcast that you guys keep talking about is the greatest in the world based on what metric. I have a YouTube channel that I haven't touched in a decade. I have more subscribers than you on that thing. Get out of here. And now I'm talking to people that are just for me, journalists, sports outside the MMA world. I still have more subscribers than you. Enough was enough. I'm done with this. And so I'll tell you one last time, as clearly as can be, F Brendan Schaub, F Brian Callen, F the fighter and the kid, F below the belt, F the food truck diaries, and their whole mother effing crew. And if you want to be down with them, Mufasa, Looking like that dude in the back of the bodega, the 99 cents erotic novels. I mean, what the hell is going on with that guy? Shrimp. Dude with the websites in the back. If you want to be down with them, then F you too. I'm not afraid of any of you guys, okay? Leave me alone once and for all. I'm not here to fight you. I come in peace. But I'm not going to let you guys try to bully and intimidate me or anyone else. And this goes out to anyone out there who feels like they are being bullied, intimidated, crapped on, shit on, kicked while they're down by anyone out there who's bigger and tougher and who weighs more and puts more, stuff in their body and pumps more iron than you. F that. Stick up for yourself, puff your chest out, and speak your damn truth. Enough of these guys. I'm done with them. And so you want to do the simulcast? Great. You want to come in here? Great. You want to call me back right now? Great. If not, stop talking about me. Stop doing the little dance where you're not talking about me. Stop doing all that nonsense. End it right here and now. Don't bring me up again. And if you do, I'll be back here on Monday to eviscerate you again. And I'll keep this going. You don't know Petty Helwani. I will keep it going until the end of my days. I will keep this going over and over, and I'll keep opening that closet a little more and a little more and a little more and a little more. All right? Final warning. Come at the king. Best not miss. Stay in your damn lane. Talk about the weather. I'm done.
This is interesting. So, you guys know me. I don't really engage with haters and stuff like that. Everybody has haters. I get that. I actually, and this can surprise a lot of people, I had a straight up conversation with Ariel Helwani. If you're unfamiliar with the situation, him and I have been going back and forth on our shows. He took to social media, which is fine. That's his right. More so him than me, but we had a conversation, a straight up phone call, like two grown-ups. And I got news for you guys too. I don't hate the guy in any facet. Never hate the guy. Never hate the guy. I think this kind of spiraled out of control a little bit on his end because, when I made those off-putting comments about him on the fight campaign, which set this whole thing off, and I apologize for that to him. I texted him and we got this whole text thread. I didn't realize how bad I hurt, to be honest. I didn't realize how bad I hurt him. Or it was a sensitive subject for him, which it should be. I'm not saying he's crazy sensitive. I'm saying that's a sensitive subject for him. And then I was like, dude, I'll apologize on the show, not a big deal. And then I go on the show and, I can't do it on here, so I didn't find the kid. And if you look at the tone of the apology, I'm not joking, man. Find a Kid is a basic comedy show. Sometimes we miss, sometimes we hit it out the park. But it's three guys with Brian Callen, who's a comic, Chappelle Lacey, who's a comic, and myself. So, that's not a serious show for serious subjects. I probably should have done it there, but I also kind of had no choice. Can do a King's thing, right? That's definitely not the platform for it. Here, Showtime's not going to engage in this, this Twitter beef. It's Showtime, They're like, what are you doing? Which I understand too. So, I'm Find the Kid. But I think the context with I'm Find the Kid came off as a joke because I wasn't taking it serious. And that also upset Ariel, which now looking back and I understand. So we had a conversation like two grown-ass adults. And I get from his view, I get it, man. I get it from a number of different angles. I think the narrative on UFC 199 and UFC 200, the Brock Lesnar situation, the narrative that probably the UFC put out, which, I know better than anybody how that organization works. Not better than anybody, better than most, I'd say. There's a lot of people that know more than me, but I have an idea how it works. I've worked for the UFC as an athlete, worked with UFC as far as entertainer, host, so I get it. So if they paint a narrative, it's going to be tough to ditch that narrative. And then, not only do they paint that narrative, and also I have friends that work in an organization who they're getting the same information I get. So if you look at the MMA space, there's maybe 5 of us. If you think about it, who is it? It's like Ariel, Luke Thomas, Brian Campbell, Chael Sonnen. You got DC doing the thing now. You got Michael Bisping. I'm saying as far as like this podcast entertainment lane, but Ariel out of all of them and Luke are journalists, right? But if you have those 6 guys and 4 out of the 6 are painting this narrative, to the public that's gonna be the narrative. And I was trying to put myself in Ariel's shoes. Let's say that's not the narrative, but these guys are painting that narrative. You're gonna be pissed off, man. You're gonna be upset. Now I'm not a journalist. I know I stayed a holiday, but I'm not a journalist. So I'm just saying what I heard from other people at the event and how it went down. Again, I don't know. I don't know Ariel that well. So I talked to him. He goes, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, that's not how it went down. That's the narrative that's painted by the UFC. That's not how it went down. He goes, I swear on my kids, that's not the way it went down. That's good enough for me, man. Now, I don't know. I don't watch Ariel show. I think at the same time as I do. I also don't like to watch other people's interviews. If it's somebody I'm going to interview, because I don't want to be, it'll make me change the way I do it because I'm like, oh, people have already heard this. I'd rather just figure it out on my own. So I hand to God, hand to my kids. I don't watch his show. It's not that I don't think it's a good show. I just don't watch it. I don't have time to watch my shows. So, I don't know if he's covered what exactly happened at UFC 199 or 200. If he hasn't, it'd be great if he told us his side of the story, which I think a lot of people like to hear. Again, does anybody here watch it? No. But do we know what exactly has he said what happened at UFC 199? Maybe he can't say it. I don't know. But he just goes, I'm telling you that's not how it went down. It wasn't a fact that I had a mole inside and they released the news to me and I knew not to release it and I released it. He's like, I think you went to Syracuse, some shit for journalists. Like, that's rule number 1, dude. That's rule number 1. And Ariel's a very fucking smart dude. Very, very smart guy. So, all right, I believe him, man. I believe him. You won't hear me paint that narrative ever again. And that's on me, man. But again, I didn't know him, but other people tell me I knew better, but that's not fair to him. I don't know him. So that's on me. And also, I think one of the things I connected with him with is, his time at ESPN, he didn't get fired. He didn't get fired. I know for a fact. Remember, I used to work at ESPN. So I know a little bit of that lay of land. Not as well as he does, but I still have friends that work there and people that work in Bristol and stuff like that. So he didn't get fired. But you got to realize when him and I are going back and forth, and it's even rare I go back and forth with anybody. It's not that I think I'm better than them. I just don't like negativity. I just don't, man. Things are too good. I have the best job in the world, man. I have the best fucking job in the world. Doing stand-up and being able to do these multiple shows that I do. I know I do 20 podcasts, but I'm just saying, to have this in my own studio, and my kids are healthy, dude, I have the best job in the world. I have no reason to be negative towards anybody. But I respect Ariel enough, and that's why I'm doing this, where I realize where he would be upset, and that's why I'm doing this. I own this. When it comes to, him being difficult to work with or him being fired from ESPN, I don't see the stuff he says. I'll see how a team goes, dude, he's saying this. That stuff doesn't bother me, because obviously when they go low, you go high, right? That's the fucking Hillary Clinton line. Sometimes you gotta go low. But if you're gonna go low, you're saying shit you don't mean. Like if you're in a fight with your friend or your girlfriend, you don't mean a lot of that stuff. I don't think he means what he said. And also, I think the reason why it doesn't bother me is because, he doesn't know. Just like I don't know. I'm not a journalist. I don't know what happened at UFC 199. He tells me to go down like that. I believe him. because he's the best journalist we have. And I don't think he's never lied to me. I don't think he's known as a liar. So there's no reason to do it now. And also the UFC can be tricky. I'll give him that. So me saying, the UFC 199 or he got fired, I don't fucking know. That's just stuff that's stuff for the internet, man. That's stuff low blows. Him blow, Brendan sell tickets or he doesn't like my comedy. Okay, you know, all the stuff that he said and all the stuff I said, you've all heard, everybody's heard before. None of it's original. No one wrote any material with me and him roasting each other. Nobody did. This is all stuff I've heard since, you know, he's been a common theme with me since I started playing football. Oh, he's just a funny guy, he's not a football player. All right, then I do my thing in football. I go from football to UFC. Oh, he's not a UFC fighter, he's a football player. Okay, I do my thing in UFC. I leave UFC and I go into podcast. Okay, he's just a fighter and he's on a podcast. Okay, then the podcast happens. All right, he's not comedy, he's just a podcaster. So this is nothing that doesn't bother me. God gave me these big shoulders for a reason I can handle. Trust me, I can handle all of it. Doesn't get to me, man. So as far as UFC 199, I believe him. I don't think he was a snitch and ratted out. I don't. He has no reason to lie. And you don't go to school and have his reputation and do something that's stupid. I just don't. I don't believe it. Well, my point of all this, a lot of it is one of the things I connected on him with is, you know, when you're at ESPN, you have this idea, and I've worked for ESPN, Fox, Bravo, Showtime. Showtime's been nothing but great to me. The best partners I've ever been associated with. This isn't has nothing to do with Showtime. There's some other people that I've worked for before, and even for that matter, when I get to the NFL, when I get to UFC, or even college football, man. You have this idea in your head before you get there. You have a goal in your mind. And Ariel's goal was ESPN. And he wanted to be the Skip Bayless and do MMA. And he was the face of MMA. And he wanted to do basketball. He knows basketball really, really well. You know, he's a big Montreal Expos fan, even though I'm not there anymore. But still, you know what I'm saying? Like, he can do other stuff. But he's known as the MMA guy. So I think by going to ESPN, he had this idea where, and I could be wrong on this, Ariel, correct me if I'm off on this, but this is my sense on the outside looking in. And I can relate to this, where you get to ESPN and you think, you know, it's Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, and you got to go and take it, and now you're opportunity, and you're gonna take over the chocolate factory, and then you realize how the chocolate's made, and you realize how that Willy Wonka's out of his mind, and you're just like, oh, this isn't, oh my God, all these years, man, this is what I wanted, and I'm here, and I have it, and this is nothing what I thought it was gonna be. Oh my, this is heartbreaking. And then, you know, your contract's up. They did offer him another contract. I know that for a fact. That from another contract, and you get fired. And you're like, I'm good. It's heartbreaking, and you're upset, but you're gonna be fine. You're upset at skills where you can do other stuff, and you've been smart about it. And you're like, I'm good, man. This isn't gonna work out. And it's not that financially you're hurting. It's just you have this dream, and then you realize that it's just not gonna happen. That's the kind I get from him. It's not his fault. You're in a machine. You're in this machine. You realize that it's just not what you thought it was gonna be. It's heartbreaking. Trust me, it's heartbreaking. I've been there, man. So I respect him in that aspect. You know, I've been there, man. You gotta adapt, and you gotta do your own thing. You know, he's back at MMA fighting, and you know, the narrative of him being difficult to work with. Again, these are all knocks on Ariel that you have all heard. I don't know if he's difficult to work with. I don't think so. Me and him were supposed to work together for Conor Floyd. Obviously, Dana did his thing and nixed him. And you can ask Ariel. He's the first one that he probably talked to. Was me. I was just telling him how fucked up it is, how bad I felt for him, and how if I could help him to let me know. So I get it, man. I get it. I get that aspect, and I relate to that. You know, but he's at MMA fighting. So if he was difficult to work with, I don't think MMA fighting would have brought him back. So that's not narrative. The narrative that me and him are doing this for views. I think Ariel tell you guys this, and again, that's the narrative. Ariel's just thirsty doing this for views. You never heard me say that. I don't think it's that. I generally think I struck a nerve with him by some of the stuff I said, because if that's the painted narrative, he's in a land now where he's gonna have to get creative and do his thing. He's doing that. But if that narrative's out there, it's not gonna help. It might not hurt. I'm not saying I'm Joe Rogan or Chael Sonnen, where what I say is the word, but it's not gonna help, man. And I don't want to contribute to that. I really don't. His kids, and he's worked hard to get to where he's at, and I'm not gonna be part of that shit. I'm just not. If that's what you guys came here for, sorry, man. That's not what I do. And as far as the shit talking and view stuff like that, I'm sure it helps out a little bit. Sure, people love drama and stuff like that, and it's a form of entertainment. It's just not what I like to do. I like to build people up. I like to help people. That's my favorite thing to do. It is. You can ask anybody I work with, man. So I think for Ariel, him going back to MMA fighting, him opening with open arms, welcome with open arms, shows you that probably not that difficult to work with. He's been there before. And then also, he doesn't own the YouTube channel of MMA fighting. So he gets paid, I would assume, I don't know details, but I know he doesn't own the YouTube page. So by him doing this, people, you're just doing this for views. He doesn't see any compensation no matter what. Just like I don't own this Showtime channel you're watching right now. I don't. So me getting to beef with Ariel to get more views, my bank account stays the same. So there's not a lot of incentive to do it. So when I think about that, I'm like, oh, this actually hurt Ariel. I respect him too much for this to continue on. And him going to Instagram, stuff like that, that's what you want to do it, dude. But you know, I can hear him say another bad thing about Ariel. I'm not paying the narrative. He's difficult to work with. The narrative of UFC 199 with Brock Lesnar. I wish he'd come out and say what happened. If he has, my bad. His fans like too. He's fucking been over it a million times. I don't know the narrative. But again, you're not going to hear me paint that narrative anymore. The narrative of him getting fired from ESPN, that's a lie. That never happened. But again, these are all digs. This is what you do. You know, when you're just a piece of shit, really. And the same digs he took on me, piece of shit move. But you know, all's fair in love and war. I'm sure he said some things he didn't mean. I definitely said some things I didn't mean. And that's it, man. That's it. So if you came here for me to light up Ariel, if he thinks to continue on, it's not what I do. It's not what I do. We both got hard enough jobs. When you think about it, I make fun of him for booking 17 people on a show. You know how hard it is to book people on shows? You have any idea how hard it is? I know you guys, you're used to Ariel's having these amazing guests, and he has whatever, 5 or 6. Obviously, I exaggerate 17 is going to be funny, but to have 5 or 6 guests on, the amount of time that goes on, I'm sure somebody helps them, or maybe not. Just me booking the top ass fight Japan food truck is exhausting. It's my least favorite part of this gig. I hate asking people for favors. I hate asking people to come on the show. I hate it. I love when they're here. I love doing it, but it's the number one stress I have in this business is asking people to come to the show. I hate it, man. Because you're busy trying to be creative, putting out good content. You know, I do stand up. Stand up takes all my time, and this stuff I do during the week. But my focus is on that. So I have to sidetrack and book guests and their flights. And it's a beast, man. Thank God I have Casey's helping out, but it's a beast, man. So my hat's off to him. And it just shows you when I go, I have 17 people on the show. I don't mean that, because I know how the sausage makes. I know how much of a beast that is. So hats off to you, dude. But that's it, man. I have nothing but respect for him. Hopefully this clears the air for him. If not, I don't tell you guys, but you will never hear another bad word about Ariel Helwani on this show or any of my shows. That's it. Put to rest, guys. Put to rest. What do you got, Jen?
When I graduated audio engineering school and interned at a studio.
You interned at a studio?
Yeah, not his.
You're the mole?
Recording studio. Music studio. So during the breaks, I watched this MAR podcast when it first came out. Like, it was in a tiny room. So I've been a fan forever. And then, like, I don't have time to watch the show anymore, really. Right? Yeah. So I'll listen to the show. Okay. But we also pull up a lot of articles from Ariel. We got a lot of stuff. Yeah. So, yeah, people tag me in the Instagram thing, and he said, like, F the guy with the websites in the back, whatever, which is kind of a bummer, but always been a fan.
But you know he doesn't mean
I know.
I think he said F Callen and stuff. So it's like,
I get it, but yeah, but been a fan forever.
Yeah. Again, all that, and obviously, you know, I've been the public eye for a long time, and since college football, I have to deal with this shit. So I think I'm a little more used to it. I'd say it's even more heightened now that I've been over the comedy team. It's heightened even more because you put out opinions, and I do so many shows where I put opinions out. So I'm used to it. It does not bother me in any facet. Yeah. If you don't have an opinion, you're in the wrong business. So I think that's when I did decide to engage with them is when he went after you guys. Yeah. So whoa, stay with me, man. I'm all about it. Stay with me. I can handle it. I get big ass shoulders. Yeah. Then when they're like, hey, he's going after Chin. you know, Christian, fucking Mark, Brian, like, what the guys? So that's when I was like, all right, I gotta address this, you know. But again, I told you guys this even in the text. He doesn't mean it.
Yeah.
He doesn't mean it. All is fair in love and war, and that was war, and he doesn't mean that, man. I bet he doesn't. I would imagine.
I believe he doesn't.
No, he's a dad, dude. Yeah. He's a dad. And I'm telling you, man, no matter what you say about anybody, whether you watch the podcast, whether it's a comic, journalist, entertainer, whatever it is, the number one thing you can tell if a person is a good person is the way they treat their kids. If they're a shitty dad, I promise you they're a shitty person in life. If you can be bad to your fucking seed, how do you think you're gonna treat people that aren't related to you? You know what I'm saying? And he's a great dad. From what I hear, he's a fantastic dad. So I hear that, I'm like, what are we doing, dude? So it's like,
all good, dude.
It's all good, man. If you're associated with me in any facet, I love you guys for defending me, stuff like that. Stop. Everybody stop. Everybody stop. Now, Ariel, there might be some people out there that can get this on. That has nothing to do with me, dude. This is it from here. This is it on my side of things. Anybody who works for me, this is it. But if you are associated with me through anything that I do, don't go out, Ariel. Let's take another little break.
Big shout out from Manchester, England. What a show, great guests and great topics. This is from Andy. What I want to know is what happened with Dan Hardy in the UFC? Also, why can't you explain what really happened at UFC 199-200? Surely, now that you're on your own, you can elaborate. Keep up the awesome work. Okay, first of all, I'm not going to talk about what happened with Dan Hardy in the UFC because that would, quite frankly, be the exact same thing that was done to me by Brendan Schaub. I wasn't there. I didn't dig around. That's a guy's employment. That's something that happened behind the scenes. I don't think some things are my business, as Dana White likes to say. Some things aren't. And I think this one isn't necessarily my business. Apparently something happened behind the scenes. That's his story to tell. And he has had to deal with whatever ramifications he seemed to be doing very well now. He's got his YouTube channel. He's doing Cage Warriors. I'm not going to be that guy. I'm not. And that's part of the reason why I annoy me when people are talking about my job. Now, as for 199-200, I do believe that you are referring to the quote-unquote apology. The apology that was dropped on late Monday. I mean, for me, early Tuesday. By the time I went to bed, I didn't see anything on the Below the Belt program, the critically acclaimed Below the Belt program. Now, I'll say this. I don't know. All right, let me just get right into it, and I'll address the 199 thing here. And I'm not going to take up as much time as I did in the past because I don't want to shortchange all of you who asked all these good questions. Let me just say this. I would love to sit here once and for all and say to Brendan and the entire team over there at Thick Boy Studios, 3Cs, I would love to sit here and say, I accept your apology. I would love to sit here and say, thank you for going on the air and saying sorry for the lies about 199, for the lies about being hard to work with, for the lies about the Jake Paul fight, for the lies about ESPN. I would love to sit here and say, I accept your apology. The problem is, I didn't hear an apology. I actually did not hear an apology. I didn't hear, hey man, I'm sorry. That was my bad. Now, am I going to be an a-hole and sit here and demand it? No, we're moving on. We are moving on. We got a 20-minute, somewhat sincere, long, at times genuine, at times nonsensical, at times confusing, at times repetitive recap of the past month or so. And so I will accept whatever that was. It was not an apology. It was not a correcting of the record. But I don't want to keep doing this every week because I'm sure you're getting tired of it. Maybe not. I am. I see you guys loving it. You love every second of it. I am not going to say I accept the apology because one never came. But I will say this because he was quite open with what happened recently. So I will be as well. After the show, when I left, as I was signing off, I got the text saying, I'll call you in 15 minutes. The text was from him. Maybe he knew that I called him. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. Called about 30 or so minutes later, and we did have a conversation. And at the very beginning of that conversation, I said, hey, I just want to let you know the missed call was from me on the show. I called you on the show because you said, and I said this all, and you know, I didn't know if he was recording it or not, but I'll back everything up. I said, I heard you say I didn't have the balls to say any of this to you, and so I wanted to call you in the quickest way possible and let you know that I do have the balls to say anything that I would say on this air about anyone to anyone. He claimed that he didn't know that I did that on the air, and that's fine. And we did have, I thought, a pretty pleasant conversation for about, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes about the last few months, or a couple months or month or so. And the basic gist of it all was, you know, how does this end? And I said, look, I'm not looking to prolong anything. I don't want to come across as a bully. I just want, what I initially said at the very beginning was an apology, a correcting of the record. 199, ESPN, working with people, Jake Paul. That's it. And so we came to an agreement that that would happen. And I said very clearly, I don't need a whole long drawn out thing. This could be over in 45 seconds. Hey man, I messed up. We're cool, respect, you do your thing, I do my thing, that's it. 45, 30, 60 seconds tops. I didn't need 10 minutes, I didn't need 15, I didn't need 20. I thought you can be done with this at the top of the show, at the bottom of the show, middle of the show, before an ad break, after an ad break, get it over with and move on. In the end, what we got was, you know, this whole long thing, a bunch of statements that you didn't hear this and didn't know this and didn't hear that, which I still don't buy. One statement that kind of irked me was, hey, why don't you come out and actually explain what happened at 199? I probably have retold the story of UFC 199 and what happened there, at least at this point, 4,000 times. I mean, I can't tell that story 4,001 times because if you watch myself, listen to myself, you have heard it probably so many times that you are so damn bored of the story at this point. In fact, literally 2 days after what happened at 199, I told the story on this show in great detail 5 years ago. And I've said it again and again and again and again. One last time, I will remind you all what happened. I was told that Brock Lesnar had started training again 2 days before UFC 199 by a source. The same way I was told Jorge Masvidal's fighting Leon Edwards at whatever that is going to be, 269 on December 11th. Then you start digging. Then if you recall and go back, because the story has changed over time, if you go back and look, it started to come out that he had been placed on the website again. Like his profile came up again. It had resurfaced. And that happens and people start tweeting about this. I started digging around. Is he coming back? Is he training for a comeback? Is he fighting someone? What's going on? You start digging. That's your job. You start digging. You start looking around. Never asked anyone at the UFC. Never talked to anyone at the UFC. I wasn't working for Fox anymore. I wasn't privy to anything. If you remember and you go back, my old pal Brett Okamoto at ESPN actually asked Dana White backstage after the weigh-ins at UFC 199 if Brock Lesnar was coming back. There's an interview out there where he asks him this point blank, face to face. Dana shot it down, said no, something like that. But the question was asked because this was out there in the open. People were talking about it. It was a story being talked about. It was a rumor. It was a thing the week of 199. This didn't come out of nowhere. By the way, an hour before I reported the Brock thing, I also reported that Conor and Nate were fighting each other August 20th. The rematch had been signed. How did I come up with that? Sources. You talk to people. It wasn't some big conspiracy thing. And so right before I was leaving to the arena, UFC 199, June of 2016, Another source told me, yes, he is coming back. And then a third source told me, yes, he's coming back. Again, to reiterate one last time, to squash the narrative that this was told to me in confidence off the record and that I broke some kind of rule that I was unethical. Never happened. Never happened till I die. That is the story on my life, on anyone I love's life. That is the story. Anyone saying otherwise, liar. And I would put my track record and reputation up against anyone's. I was told he's coming back. And I didn't leave. I actually missed the first fight of the night. It was Marco Polo Reyes against, I think, Dong Kim. I missed that fight because I was writing it up in my hotel room. And then, of course, as you know, story gets out. I break the story. And then later on, they announce it. I didn't know what the plan was. I mean, obviously, UFC 200 is coming up in a month. They're going to announce it at some point. I didn't even know who the opponent was. I didn't report the opponent. I didn't know. All I reported was that he was coming back. And that's it. Nothing nefarious, nothing unethical. I have literally told this story 15 times, but if you want it one more time, there it is. And so the way it was positioned in this thing was like, hey, you know, this is what I heard. He has no reason to lie to me. Listen, I've never lied about anything. I've always been upfront with everyone. I've addressed it 1,000 times, 4,000. I don't know what it is. I've addressed it. And there it is. One last time, I've addressed it. And hopefully it's the last time. I'm going to guess it's not going to be the last time, but there's the story. It was just like any other scoop that any other reporter gets. You get a little, and it's really crazy that it's turned into this thing 5 years later, but on my life, no one ever told me anything in confidence. No one ever told me anything off the record. And it's nice to see, thank you very much to Michael Bisping, to Dustin Poirier and others, people who have come out who are legends, who have great integrity, have come out and backed my own assessment of myself that I'm good to work with, that I'm a good team, all this stuff, and that I don't stab you in the back. You tell me something off the record, I don't stab you in the back. And so that's it. I mean, for the record, Michelle Obama said the line, when you go low, I go high, not Hillary Clinton. There was this whole thing about, hey, you know, people coming after, no one's coming after me. There's just a couple of jabrones coming after me. And I told them, as long as those people are going to come after me, they are associated with you. No one associated with this show, no one associated with me, a colleague, a friend, a brother, a teammate, a family. No one has come after him. And he says that he doesn't check social media. I don't believe that, but no one's come after me. His squad has come after me. Mufasa, who is probably now over the moon that I've just mentioned, and this guy loves trying to break down from an intellectual standpoint. Helwani, this guy, trying to actually, he thinks he got me by explaining that Helwani is actually a misnomer because I'm a babyface. You dolt. What are you talking about? It's just, it's a name that rhymes with my name. That's kind of funny because now I'm unfiltered, unshackled, and so it's my bad boy persona. It's sort of like when Stone Cold was a bad guy but also a good guy. Come on, stick with me here. Do I have to break it down for all of you? I'm a good guy heel. A little bit of gray. Come on, man. Listen, I'll never look like you. I'll never have flowing gray locks like you. I'll never have perfectly manicured facial hair like you. I'll never have abs like you. But please, stick with me here, all right? Stick with me, Bubba. But I don't mind it. He says that it was a low blow that I went to social media. I'll remind you that the Fighter and the Kid Twitter page went to social media and took shots on this segment, asking me if it was too on the nose what they were saying. Put journalist beef in their title, put journalist beef in their podcast title as well, YouTube title, called me the unnamed journalist. I mean, let's not pretend like you guys were taking the high road and all this. And also, let's not pretend that what I did was too much. Let's not pretend that this was a buildup of 5 years. 5 years I had to list the lies. Dating back to 199. There are clips to back this up where I never responded. 5 years. A couple shows here, 2 months is too much? No, not too much. We're talking 5 years to like a month and a half. A couple of digs here and there. I see the pot shots. I see the digs. I think this could have been easily rectified in 45 seconds, but I'm moving on. That's it. I'm moving on. Until another one of them wants to come after me. And I hope this is a lesson to everyone out there. I've never heard from Brian. I thought it was interesting that they did this on the other show. I don't know how they decide what show they're talking about what. It's all very confusing. There's 1,000 different podcasts out there. Too many, if you ask me. Streamline that stuff. Keep it all in check. I'll say, you know what? Much love to the guy in the back with the websites. Chin, you know, it was a stray. You know, it was a drone strike. You get the point. It was a drone strike. It was a stray. I got no beef with you. I got no hate. You know, I've seen a little things, but you know what? It was a stray. Shrimp, you talked about my family. I don't apologize for that one. Dude with the, you know, the weird hair and the bizarre facial hair. I don't apologize for that one. Count certainly don't. I mean, Two-Face. You're going to apologize. You know. But Brendan and I'm moving on. That's it. I'm moving on. I wish I could sit here and say apology accepted, but there was no apology. There wasn't an actual apology. I never heard, I'm sorry, I never, but it did at times seem sincere. It did at times seem genuine. And I just can't keep doing this each and every week. And then of course there are other people out there who are seeing this and want to be made famous. We've got, you know, Josh Thompson with his 1997 Sum 41 haircut, trying to get the rub, going on and on, taking pictures and videos of himself at the beach, and that's some sort of indication that his life is better than ours, that all is good, that he's not bothered by any of this. Meanwhile, he's tweeting about me all day and night. I had to mute him. Focus on your job, focus on your life. They're probably going to do a segment on me on their next podcast, break it out, put my picture up there, put me in the title, try to get the views, try to get the rub. Again, as Brendan actually accurately pointed out, there were a few accurate things in that soliloquy. I don't make any money off these views here. I could do this on my own YouTube channel. I don't, because this show, I'm just a guy working here. I'm just a guy with a website. I don't own this. I don't own any of this. I don't make a single more dollar doing any of this. So I'm just sitting here doing my thing, answering questions, trying not to bother anyone. But I hope the lesson now is that if you are going to come after me, and I don't care if it's a current UFC fighter spreading lies about me, like a Gilbert Burns, I don't care if it's a current UFC fighter spreading lies or misrepresenting or pretending to be innocent about a situation that you know very well the truth, like Bilal Muhammad, or if it's a manager spreading lies, spreading misinformation like Ali Abdelaziz, or if it's a retired fighter like Brendan Schaub spreading lies, spreading misinformation, if it's a cover boy of an erotic novel in the back of the bodega, 99 cents, spreading lies, spreading information, let the record show that I will respond now. And that's it. I will never respond first. I will never come out first and start a war, start a fight. I think there are a lot of people who like and respect me, and I think a lot of people would back that up, and I think the people that come on the show would back that up. But I hope it is now very clear that if anyone is going to try to get over on me, once and for all, those days are done. Helwani here to stay. I got the endorsement of the champ, Bug Nose, here to stay. And that's that. And so I'm officially moving on. I appreciate the support. I appreciate everyone at PF Chang's who has had my back. This is not me trying to separate myself from you guys. I never even knew about the Reddit page before all of this, the subreddit. People told me afterwards. I was not aware. I'm not that guy. I don't really go on Reddit and stuff like that, not because I don't like it. I'm not good with that stuff. I have some friends who show me things here or there, and I'm not doing the whole bit that I don't go to social media. I'm on social media way too much. I'm on YouTube way too much. I just didn't know about it. I'm sorry. I didn't know. It's an incredible thing. I just didn't know about it. This is not me separating. You guys are prolific. Much love. I never want to get on your bad side. I appreciate the support and the love. If you want to take off the CEO cap, that's great. My point is, I can't keep doing this because I'm never going to truly get that apology. I'll never get the mea culpa. I'll never get the I'm sorry. But what I got a couple days ago, ultimately, is I think the best that I'm going to get. And I don't want to make a grown man cry. I don't want to make a grown man sad. I don't want to make him upset. And let's just move on. And so thank you all for that. but I think I'm good. Those were just postscripts, by the way. Like, that was just me, like, kind of going through with a fine-tooth comb. He said he's not going to say my name anymore, and ultimately that's what means the most. Because usually when they talk about me on those programs, it's misinformation, it's inaccurate, it's mistruths, all that stuff. And so I think the best course of action is to stop talking about me. Wish them the best. Don't wish any harm, ill will, failures, misfortune, any of that on them or anyone. Even the guys I responded to earlier. Don't wish any of that on any of them. That's not a way to live. Over.